What's the Church of Scientology so afraid of?
This is SPTV. Hello everyone, it's Amy Scobee and Matt Pesch back to give you the next installment in our series that we've been doing about our leaving Scientology and getting restarted in the world. So the last episode we left off, where did we leave off?
Basically, we were talking about that we rented a bigger house. I was doing 3 auctions a week, 1 in Tacoma, 2 in Seattle. We had a box truck, and we were moving all that different furniture. We were doing really, really well. And then a few things came up. One which was, we're going through the whole disconnection problem with your family, my family. And then we had Tommy Davis get on the television talking about how there was no such thing as disconnection, which really pissed us off.
Not only were we going through the biggest disconnection situation imaginable with my mom, and then also Matt's family too, because he had both of his sisters in and his brother, and all of their families were all Scientologists. And everyone was supposed to disconnect, and it was messy, and especially with my mom, because we were like best friends. So, and now here I was back in her life, and they were trying to, they made her decide between her daughter and her husband and livelihood, because her husband was her livelihood at that time. And anyway, that whole disconnection story, I think I told you separately. Did I talk about the disconnection story in one of the ones that we did, or no?
If nothing else, it's in your book. It's,
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. So we were going through that, and then all of a sudden here comes Tommy Davis's little face on CNN saying there's no such thing as disconnection.
And we were like, and I said, I don't care how much time we spend, how much money we spend, we're going to go and expose these guys for the bull crap that's going on. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah, we were like, okay, this is no good. And then plus at the same time, Anonymous was protesting a couple things. First of all, when Tom Cruise got up with his Keeping Scientology Working video that was leaked, Scientology tried to collect that and get it off the internet real fast and everything like that. And so that was pretty revealing. And Anonymous jumped on that on freedom of speech and was protesting Scientology. But then also the next thing that they were protesting was disconnection. And that's why Tommy got up there saying, we don't have anything like disconnection. It's in their policies. Every single Scientologist around the world knows those policies. And for him to say such a bald-faced lie in the middle of the television, we were like ready to jump through the screen, especially going through our own situation so bad at that time, and then he's denying it. I just felt like with David Miscavige beating people and their PR person lying his face off, that was it. We're done. We also got, did we tell them about our freeloader bill?
Oh, freeloader bill. Yeah, I got sent some kind of freeloader bill for like over $200,000.
It was partial. It was labeled partial. Spend 27 years in Scientology and then get a partial bill for one of us of $250,000 when we left with nothing.
Not that we would have gave them $20. It was like, but it was just like, you guys are so,
Like in order to get back in good standing, that's what they're saying. One of the steps, just one of the steps, is to pay your entire freeloader bill. And his partial bill was $250,000. We were waiting for the rest. No, we weren't waiting. As soon as we saw that thing, we were like, ripped it up. And then I wish we still kept it though. That would have been fun to show people. But and then we wrote a letter saying, don't send us any more communication. We're resigned officially. And you want to know how we wrote it? It was really great. He hand wrote it with his chicken scratch on a yellow piece of paper. Peeled it off. Highly official.
Yep. I tell you, the other thing about Anonymous doing all those protesting, I thought, wow, these guys were never even in Scientology, and they're willing to stand out there and protest. What's our excuse? We need to get out there and also make our voices heard.
Yeah, it was impressive, and I also felt like if anything happened to me from speaking out, then the world's going to see it. And that there's a lot of people standing up for human rights. And I was really surprised. You know, you are told all the time when you're in Scientology, when you go out to the big bad world, you know, it's all evil and you're not going to be successful, whatever, you know, because they're trying to discourage people from leaving. But anyway, so to me, it was really surprising that there was so many people around the world that were standing up against the abuses of Scientology who never were in Scientology, who don't have that situation being enforced on them in their own lives, but they are sticking up for the people who do have that situation. So we decided that we were going to use our voice. Now, we started doing those Little Dicky series.
Yeah. Weren't you also doing radios, going on to the radio? When did that start happening?
No, not until after.
That's later, huh?
The very
Okay.
first,
All right.
we're getting there.
All right.
So
That's right. So the Little Dicky story was next. That was our way of like kind of under the radar, kind of put out the messages and stuff.
Yeah. So we were doing you were writing them and having me edit them. And
Yeah, because I'd write them with chicken scratch on a little piece of paper. And then you would like translate them.
He can't type. I mean, he does this when he types. Make it as an executive in Scientology.
A quick chicken picker.
Hunt and peck. So we started putting up all those bedtime stories, but then what happened was our friend at the time, Marty Rathbun, he went to the St. Petersburg Times in Florida and told them all about David Miscavige and his abuses and beating people and everything that was going on at the top of Scientology. And so when we were seeing Marty Rathbun, one of the big things that we brought up was the turmoil of the family disconnection that was going on with both Matt and I.
Yeah. So that really got to him. And he really felt like he needed to take some responsibility for that whole thing and try to speak out against it. And that was the main reason he went to the St. Pete Times at that point, was to protest against and speak out against Scientology because of its disconnection policy.
Yeah. So Marty went to the St. Petersburg Times and he told them all about David Miscavige and his beating people and the abuse that was going on there. And at the time, Mike Rinder had just left Scientology, and he was in touch with Marty as well. And but he was still under the radar at that time, although he was in touch with the St. Pete Times to corroborate what Marty had been saying, to let them know this is a factual account of what was going on. And then Marty called me and he said, you know, I wanted to see if you would corroborate as well, because you witnessed all of these beatings and everything. And I was thinking it wasn't a good idea because I know what Scientology does to people who speak out. But I was talking to Mike about it, and he thought it would probably be a good idea to get more people because they could discredit him real easily. But if there's more people on the record, it'll be received much better. And I said yes. You know, Scientology is really pissing me off right now. They've using my mom as leverage against me, you know, and they're interrogating her to find out what I'm doing and who I'm talking to. And it's just, they're psycho. And I'm done with them. And I'm going to expose what went on because it's not okay. And so we said yes. And off we went to Tampa. We went to Florida and we spoke to the St. Pete Times. I did a series of videos, and I'm going to put those up on my website, and do a whole video on just the whole subject of the St. Petersburg Times and the Truth Rundown series that was done, which so many people viewed and they won an award for and everything like that. And we were really instrumental in helping them come up with a lot of other contacts and people to tell their stories, and their next series, which was called Strength in Numbers. But anyway, we want to show you all of that and go into all of that, but we're just going to stick with this for a minute. So, and then we came back to Washington. And at that point, I was still disconnected from my mom. And I was working on writing a book and to tell about the abuses that were going on. I remember how I was writing it was like a big fat knowledge report, fact, 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 time, place, form, and event. Because they're so litigious. And so I was just like, okay, I can only say things that I can prove. I can only write it with no emotion. I can, only put facts in there. Anyway, so people were saying afterwards on my book, it could use some editing. You think? Okay. But anyway, so then I also had physical stuff going on after a lifetime in Scientology and this whole purification program that really, did a number on me. But I didn't know what it was. All I know is I couldn't get warm and I couldn't continue to lift furniture.
You're starting to swell up and stuff.
Yeah, I became like inflamed, inflammation everywhere. It was terrible. And so I couldn't get warm. And we were in Washington, we're like, let's move over to Florida where I can at least see the sunshine every once in a while. Then we moved to Florida.
Well, what happened was the house we were renting, it was during, the guy had bought a bunch of houses at the top of the housing market. And then when it crashed, he was trying to suck out any money he can get out of those homes before the banks took them back. And so we were paying through a management service, and the guy was getting the money, but he wasn't paying the bank. And eventually the bank sent a representative to where we were renting and said, hey, I hate to go straight to you guys, but we can't even find the guy who owns this house. He's like disappeared. And we're taking the house back.
3 days.
Well, yeah, it was just like they're going to have somebody start taking photographs of the house to put it on the market like in 3 days, this kind of thing. And at the time, we had our truck, we had a shop full of really nice equipment and
furniture.
A lot of furniture. We had a lot of things going on.
Big inventory.
And we sold all that stuff out over the next 3 days.
We sold our entire house within 3 days.
The truck.
And our vehicles.
All the equipment, everything was gone, down to our SUV and whatever we could fit in it. And we decided to drive across to Florida and start up over there.
Yeah. So anything that could fit in the... As a woman, that's kind of heartbreaking, anything that could fit in that. I was trying to get everything in that van, but...
I think we got the fishing poles, so we're okay.
His fishing pole went in there first. And then we drove cross country. We didn't stop at any sites along the way because we had everything with us. And
except for one place we stopped.
We stopped at Graceland because I love Elvis. So we did stop there.
Yeah. I had a whole bunch of gold with us, and I didn't really want to leave it any place. And I think we even walked into Elvis's house with it in a bag or something, in a lunch bag or something.
Chicken bags, and they didn't look in our bag, and we had all of our life savings that he was carrying through Elvis's house. Oh, okay. So then we get to Florida, and we decide to move on to Clearwater Beach. We get a condo there.
Yeah, because we were like, where can we find some good auctions? And we went to auctionzip.com or whatever, and the best auctions we could find were actually, first we thought there was a place that was more central in Florida. We went there, and it was in some kind of like big tent. We're talking to the lady who runs the auction, and all these gnats are crawling through into our eyes and stuff. She's not even wiping them out. We're like, what the heck? We were both grossed out.
I am not living here.
Yeah. So we were like, scratch that. So then we saw that there was some good auctions by the Largo Clearwater area. There was 2 good ones. So we thought, okay, so let's go there. And you can write your book, and I'll, do some auctions and stuff, keep the money coming in.
So we got this little warehouse that was like $350 a month, no big deal.
Yeah.
And so his furniture flipping while I'm writing the book covered that and all of our expenses. It was just to keep, to give us the ability to do that. And it was good because we had a beautiful place on Clearwater Beach, like right off our back. We were on the 2nd floor, and you would just walk down the steps and onto the dock right there on the inside, right on the water. Anyway, so it was nice. We were taking long walks every day on the beach and stuff like that. Being tailed by private investigators all the time. But,
like making themselves very obvious.
Yeah, but they didn't fit in with anything.
And then we went to the walking clinic in Florida. Which
Okay, so anyway, so, I was mentioning my medical thing. So it's so funny when you're in Scientology, you never take care of your physical self because it's all, you're a potential trouble source if you have any illness. And so you never want to bring anything up, and trying to get anything through financial planning for anything is just ridiculous. So I never went to the doctor. The 25 years I was in there, did I go to the doctor one time? I don't think so. Never got any girl checkups, never did nothing. I didn't do anything. And so I was used to that kind of operating procedure. Even though I was feeling bad, I didn't bring it up. And Matt started seeing this stuff and was like asking me, and I was like, yeah, okay. Because you never want to show any weakness or whatever. This is another thing where that I had to kind of get out of, because that's how I was raised in Scientology. Don't show any weakness. Don't show any vulnerability. Don't show any emotions. Anyway, so I went to a free clinic to just get a test to see what was going on. And the doctor, when he saw the blood test, said, "How are you getting out of bed in the morning? I have never seen tests that look this bad. You have a maximum, if this isn't changed, you have a maximum of 2 years left to your life." And so I was like, maybe we should do something about this. He put me on different things and whatever. I got on a program. And it's really funny because the second I was on it, I felt a change right away. And I'll have to put up pictures, and maybe I'll include one in this video. I'll include a picture right here of me bloated and stuff like that. So anyway, I got on that medical handling, which is good. And I finished writing my book, which is really good. And we finished helping the St. Petersburg Times come up, have a whole slew of people who were willing to speak out as well. And we helped the people decide that it was okay to speak out. It wasn't just, oh yeah, all these people want to speak out. No, we had to have a lot of conversations.
Yeah, they were afraid, their mother was still in the Sea Org, what would happen to her, this kind of thing, and that's what her support was. Or somebody else had a job now with the government, and how would that kick back on them with their career and stuff like that. I mean, there was a lot of concerns these people had to come forward, and yet they still came forward.
They still did.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we were there about 7 months. During that entire time, Scientology was fair gaming us and following us. That's a whole episode in itself. Following us around with private investigators. The private investigators were putting tracking devices on our vehicles, filming into our windows, dumped 2 dead rats in our pool. And I'm really curious, did they have to murder those 2 rats before they dumped them in the pool?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, it's just sick.
It was the morning after we spoke out to the media.
Yeah.
The next morning, we've had 2 dead rats in our pool, as a message to us.
Yep. And there's PIs that have come forward that have said these are the things that were going on during that time. That's how I know.
Yeah, it's been confirmed by the PIs that were actually working for the church at that time that, yes, they were responsible for the dead rats.
And the other thing is they were everywhere we went, even driving cross country, because we went to go visit my family in Washington. They came. They tailed us everywhere we went.
They were in the airports.
They were in the airports, harassing us right in front of the, the TSA security?
Yeah.
Right in front of the security. Are they stupid or what? Anyway, he was so funny. He just started yelling, saying, "The leader of Scientology is David Miscavige. His wife, Shelley Miscavige, has been missing."
And this is a Scientologist here trying to harass us.
This is a Scientologist trying to harass us. And security came running over and then asked this lady, this person, "Do you have a ticket? Do you have a flight?" And she didn't. And so they carted her off.
They took her into a back room. We never saw her again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, even... we were worried about it. We had a dog at that time that we left in Washington with Amy's mom, and we had a babysitter with that dog all the time. We never left that dog alone, just in case Scientology really got nasty. So that dog had security 24/7.
Why are you bringing up dogs?
Oh, I'm just bringing it up because the rats, they killed the rats. I mean, what would keep them from killing, you said, did they really have to kill the rats? Well, would they kill somebody's pet? Yeah, they would kill somebody's pet. These guys are nasty.
Yeah. We had our dog for 14 years. He was the love of our life. Arvy was his name. Here's his picture. And now we have Mango. And soon to be another addition to our family, which I have to talk him into. It'll happen.
I'm just hoping it's not a monkey.
I already have a monkey. Anyway, so then we moved back to Washington State, and that's when I published my book, and there was a big whirlwind of media. But you want to know what caused the whirlwind of media?
Oh, yeah.
Tom Cruise's lawyer, Bertram Fields, this guy. He sent a letter to me before I published my book, basically threatening me if I published it that I might face a lawsuit because I mentioned Tom Cruise in there and a few things. Because I manned up his household. I mentioned that he had drugs and that's why he didn't qualify for the Sea Organization, because Shelley Miscavige told me that Tom would be in the Sea Org if he was qualified, but because he had taken drugs that are a disqualification for the Sea Organization.
He was taking a lot of them. Go ahead.
What?
He must have taken a lot of them. No, I'm kidding.
Honey. Why do you say that? Oh, because he's
Tom Cruise. Oh. And there's all this goofiness.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so whatever. I forgot where I was at. You mind wiped me, like Mark Headley says. You mind wiped me with your nuttiness. Anyway, so...
Well, it's why your book took off and all the media took off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because Bert Fields sent me this threat letter, and then we put it up on the internet, and it went viral, and now I got all these book orders, and I paid for the expense of my book within the first day.
Way more.
Way more, because of all the orders. Thank you, Bertram Fields. Rest in peace. So... Then I went to Germany and I did a conference there with Mark Headley and a bunch of ex-Sea Org members with Ursula Caberta, because she has been fighting Scientology in Germany for so long. Anyway, and I met a bunch of anonymous people there and I did some videos. And those videos that I originally did then are on my channel, so you can go and see those. What else did you want to say?
I mean, those are the main things for right now. I mean, we have so much information that we were talking about it like it's unlimited of all the different things we can go down and explain and show, and we will be doing that. So this is just like a quick little series on how we survived when we first got out. But we're going to go in and start digging in on some of the things about the church and some of the things that got done.
Yeah. I mean, I want to cover... See, we still have the whole Little Dicky series. You got to hear about those because they're hard to find on the internet. And so, we want to bring you that whole series and talk about that. We want to talk about all the fair gaming. That's a whole subject. That's a series of subjects. Just the references and policy that Scientology has on how to deal with critics. I want to lay all that out and lay out everything that they have done. So that needs to be its own reveal.
We'll go over the justice stuff. We'll go over the RPF, the Rehabilitation Project Force. We'll go over St. Pete Times articles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in detail. Yeah. We'll bring you the whole series of the St. Pete Times series, because that really launched a lot of expose on Scientology and what Scientology's response to that was, like the magazines that they put out and the caricatures that they did of me.
We'll do a lot of live stuff too, where people can ask questions and we'll answer the questions. So if you have questions, things you've been thinking about, wondering about, write them down. You will have an opportunity to ask us and we will answer the questions.
Yeah. And you can also like, subscribe, and comment, because when you comment, I will answer. I tried to answer all the comments. I really try. So feel free to ask your questions there, or save it for a live, because we're going to be doing a lot. What else? Anything else?
Those are the main things for right now, I think.
Okay. Well, that gives you a little bit of an update. We wanted to just get it out because people are saying, more of Matt, more of Matt.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and so much more to come.
Yeah.
But here you go. There's just a little bit more for you.
Bye.
Oh, buy my book.
Oh yeah, buy Amy's book.
Oh, I got a website now, and I'm still working on it. So it's Scobee-publishing.com.
There's a bunch of fake ones on there. Like this,
Oh, yeah.
the church keeps putting up all these fake ones that look like it's Amy and all this kind of stuff. So if you don't get it exactly right, you're going to wind up in church land, and these guys are going to try to like divert you into some weirdness or something.
Well, yeah, there's one that's Scobee-publishing.com is a gambling site. It's a gambling site. So it has my pictures on it and everything like that, but none of the links work except for the gambling links. So don't go there. Go to Scobee-publishing.com. That's my website. I just created it. I'm still uploading a ton of stuff, but you can buy my book there for people in the United States. If you're out of the United States, just send me a message, Amy at Scobee-publishing.com, and tell me where you live. I'll tell you the price, and you can pay using PayPal. So, any other points? Like, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.